Browns enthusiasts, brace yourselves, because what's unfolding might just be the most unpredictable and high-stakes storyline in the entire NFL. Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. Four quarterbacks, one starting role, and zero certainty. Yet what's becoming increasingly evident from the latest Browns Oda sessions is that Dillon Gabriel's name isn't merely drifting around as a footnote. He's making a legitimate impact. That's right. Despite the murmurs, the jabs, and the criticism surrounding his stature, Gabriel has displayed flashes of brilliance that simply demand your attention. So let's dissect everything we witnessed and heard straight from Browns camp, and what it might signify for Week 1 and beyond. I'll reveal all the insights, but first, be sure to smash that like button if you've been a loyal Browns fan for 16 years. It's heartwarming to see fans of every generation. Much respect to all of you. Now let's address the elephant in the room height. Dillon Gabriel measures in at just over 6'4", and during OTAs, that fact was not just apparent, it was glaring. Reports describe a telling moment that captured the concern perfectly. Gabriel, despite his determination, attempted to loft the ball over the line during a drill only to have it swatted down by defensive tackle Mason Graham. The play didn't merely end in a deflected pass. It culminated in coaches, players, and even reporters commenting on how small Gabriel appeared behind the offensive line. One reporter was even caught on a hot mic saying, "I'm taller than him." That's not exactly the kind of scrutiny you want when you're vying to establish yourself as an NFL starter. But here's the plot twist. Gabriel is fully aware of this. The Browns were aware of it when they drafted him, and still they chose to bring him on board. Why? Because while height might be a limitation, accuracy is where Dillon Gabriel truly excels. And Browns fans, let me assure you, this kid can sling it. Multiple Oda reports have underscored Gabriel's exceptional ball placement. Whether it's a back shoulder fade or a precisely timed slant across the middle, his touch and precision are absolutely next level. In today's NFL, where completion percentages are on the rise and the margin for error is razor-thin, pinpoint accuracy is everything. If Gabriel possesses that elite ball placement, he's already ahead of the curve. Gone are the days when you could scrape by with a 57 completion rate and still hold a job. Now, you need to hover in the mid to high 60s just to be considered serviceable. That's why the coaching staff is observing Gabriel closely. Because if Kevin Stefanski can tailor the playbook to Gabriel's strengths, much like Sean Payton once did with Drew Brees, another undersized but supremely accurate passer, there's a genuine opportunity for this offense to thrive. Remember how Payton simplified the system for Bo Nix last year? Gabriel might need a similar approach. Streamlined plays, scripted drives, clean reads, just to help him get settled before letting him off the leash. If that happens, we might just witness a quarterback who quietly and methodically leads this team, not as a highlight reel sensation, but as a cerebral, mistake-free field general. That said, Gabriel doesn't have the job locked up. Shedeur Sanders is generating plenty of buzz, and it's not just hype. By all accounts, he performed exceptionally well during OTAs, showing poise, composure, and an impressive command of the offense. Sanders is bigger, flashier, and some might argue has a higher ceiling. Reports even suggest he delivered the best overall performance of any quarterback not named Joe Flacco during camp. Yes, better than Gabriel and better than Pickett. That's no small feat. ESPN recently ranked the Browns quarterbacks following OTAs, and here's how it shook out at number 1, Shedeur Sanders at 2, Dillon Gabriel at 3, and Kenny Pickett at the bottom. That's right, Pickett, the former Steelers starter, isn't even in the running. The chatter is that he might not even sniff the starting job this year. Which brings us to the man currently wearing the crown, Joe Flacco. A seasoned veteran, a stabilizing presence, and someone who already understands Stefanski's system. He's also refreshingly candid about his role. In his own words, he's not here to be a mentor. He's here to compete. At 39, he knows the finish line is approaching, but he's not done yet. He's still firing the football like a pro, and the coaching staff trusts him. That's why most analysts, including yours, truly believe Flacco is your Week 1 starter. Then what? Week 6, 7, 8, that's where things get electrifying. If the Browns stumble out of the gate or Flacco starts showing his age, the leash will be short. And suddenly, the starting gig could be up for grabs. Does Kevin Stefanski double down on his guy, Dillon Gabriel, or does the front office, rumored to have been the driving force behind the Shedeur Sanders pick, step in and insist on a quarterback switch? This is where internal politics ignite. And as mentioned earlier, there's mounting speculation that Gabriel was Stefanski's choice. Safe, smart, and system ready. Sanders, meanwhile, might have been more of an Andrew Berry or even Jimmy Haslam pick, Big upside, marketable, and potentially a franchise face. That division could sow discord if the team starts faltering, and in Cleveland, when things go sideways, they really go sideways. So let's wrap this up before we close out today's exclusive deep dive. Dillon Gabriel, short, precise, and playing catch-up behind a physically gifted rookie and a wily veteran. Shedeur Sanders, flashy, dynamic, and quite possibly being groomed behind the scenes for a midseason takeover. Joe Flacco, season starter, but one poor stretch away from handing over the reins. And Kenny Pickett, he might as well start packing his bags. This battle's far from settled. In fact, it's just heating up. And whether it's Flacco, Gabriel, or Sanders leading the charge come week 6, one thing is crystal clear. This quarterback room is the most unpredictable in the entire league. So, Browns faithful, we want to hear from you. Who do you want under center on opening day? Now, let's shift from speculation to implications, because what unfolds next in this quarterback saga won't just shape the 2025 season. It will reverberate throughout the entire franchise. Let's talk about what's truly at stake here. If Kevin Stefanski goes all in on Dillon Gabriel and things unravel, it won't just be a failed experiment. It could cost him his job. Remember, this isn't 2020 anymore. There's no grace period, no wait-and-see approach. Yes, he's led this team to the playoffs, but he's also staring down the most politically charged, high-pressure quarterback controversy of his career. If he backs Gabriel and Sanders starts lighting it up in practice, the front office and ownership won't just be frustrated, they might be ready to pull the trigger. On the flip side, if Sanders gets the nod and flounders, that's a direct hit on Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, who, according to rumors, championed the Sanders pick. They're betting big on potential and upside. And as history has shown, when politics start dictating who lines up under center in Cleveland, chaos is never far behind. But there's another dimension we haven't explored yet. The locker room. Veterans in that locker room want to win now. They're not here for a rebuilding phase or developmental reps. They're here to chase a title. And while rookies can bring energy and hope, they also bring mistakes. If Flacco starts and the team is grinding out ugly wins, Stefanski might not dare to make a change, even if the front office is whispering behind closed doors. That decision, sticking with a 39-year-old Flacco to preserve locker room chemistry, could buy Stefanski time, or it could cost him everything if it backfires. And this isn't just about winning. It's about identity. What kind of team do the Browns want to be in 2025? If it's a Flacco-led, veteran-heavy, grit-and-grind offense, then the window is now. But if they pivot to Gabriel or Sanders early, they're sending a message to the locker room, to the fans, and to the entire league that they're playing for the future. That message matters, because once you head down the development path, it's hard to turn back. And let's not forget about the fans. Browns fans are no fools. You've seen this movie too many times before. You know, when a quarterback controversy is real and when it's just smoke and mirrors. Right now, it's real. And the frustration isn't just about the number of quarterbacks in the mix. It's that for the first time in a long time, the Browns might actually have two young passers with legitimate talent and still find a way to botch it. If you're a Gabriel supporter, you love his pinpoint accuracy, his poise, and his clean execution. He's the guy who can run a Kevin Stefanski game plan to perfection. But if you're a Sanders backer, you see the flashes, the energy, the playmaking spark that simply can't be coached. He has that it factor. The question is whether the Browns can get it to shine on Sundays. And let's be real. Kenny Pickett is likely out of the conversation. There's been no significant buzz around him in any of these OTA reports. He's trailing in reps. He's not making waves, and he's not climbing the depth chart. It's clear he was brought in more as an insurance policy than a serious contender. And with the way this battle is shaping up, he may never get a true shot in Cleveland. But there's one more name we need to mention. The guy who'll be taking handoffs from whichever quarterback wins this job. Quinshon Judkins. Let's circle back to this rising rookie for a moment. ESPN projected 922 rushing yards for Judkins. And while that might sound modest to some, it would actually place him in elite company. Only 13 run. Attention, passionate Cleveland Browns fans, brace yourselves, because something monumental is stirring in the AFC North, and it could redefine the entire playing field. We're talking about a direct impact on the Browns' journey toward another Super Bowl run, a seismic shift that could leave a divisional rival reeling for years. And you're getting this news firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a diehard Cleveland Browns supporter, hit that subscribe button to fuel this passion even more. Show the world you're part of this family. Let's unite and push toward that 10,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with your friends and fellow Browns fans. Let's get to the news. All right, Browns Nation, strap in because there's a lot to unpack. The quarterback situation in Cleveland has been nothing short of a roller coaster in recent years. and right now it's more competitive than ever. You know, the Browns have always carried high expectations. Whether it's a playoff berth or a deep postseason run, fans are starved for consistency and, above all, a franchise quarterback. But this year, the landscape is shifting and the buzz could ripple across the entire AFC North and beyond. Let's talk quarterbacks. First, we've got the seasoned presence of Joe Flacco, a battle-tested veteran known for his postseason heroics and that cannon of an arm that still has the potential to catch defenses off guard. Flacco signed with Cleveland to bring stability and veteran leadership. And let's be honest, his familiarity with Kevin Stefanski's offensive scheme makes him a prime candidate to secure the starting job early on. Flacco's experience in high-pressure moments and his commanding leadership aren't just window dressing. He's a legitimate contender, especially given the current state of the team and the urgent need for results. Then there's Kenny Pickett, a young signal caller still striving to carve out his legacy in the league. Pickett has showcased flashes of promise, but he's still refining his game. The Browns see him as a potential starter down the line, but for now, he's more of a wild card, a guy who could either step up and seize the opportunity or need additional time to mature. And of course, we can't overlook the rookies, Dillon Gabriel and the headline maker Shedeur Sanders. Sanders is the name captivating the entire NFL landscape, and for good reason. Despite being a fifth-round selection, his pedigree and raw potential set him apart from the rest of the rookie class. His surname alone, Sanders, carries considerable weight, given his father's legendary NFL career. But Shedeur has earned his hype, not just because of his name, but because of his stellar college tape. He's a dynamic quarterback with a rocket arm, impressive mobility, and a football IQ that belies his age. The question remains, can he bridge the gap from college standout to NFL starter, especially so soon? Here's where things get interesting. According to Zach Jackson from The Athletic, a respected Browns insider with deep team connections, the odds of Sanders or Gabriel starting immediately are slim. Jackson points out that it's virtually unheard of for a fifth-round rookie quarterback to seize the starting role right out of the gate, particularly in Cleveland. Why? The NFL's reality is that teams prefer to ease rookies and gradually, especially quarterbacks. The leap from college to the pros is immense game speed, defensive complexities, and the mental grind are on another level entirely. Jackson's insights suggest that the real battle for the starting quarterback spot will be between Flacco and Pickett, both under contract through 2025. This means Stefanski and his staff are likely leaning on experience to steady the ship after last season's disastrous 3-14 record, a campaign that ranks among the worst in franchise history and piled on the pressure to find stability fast. The Browns, armed with a rich history and one of the most loyal fan bases in the league, are at a critical crossroads. They flirted with greatness countless times, but haven't found the consistency to sustain it. The quarterback position has been a revolving door for years. Different faces, different styles, all searching for that perfect fit. Now, with Deshaun Watson returning from injury, the team is hoping for a resurgence. Yet Watson's health and performance remain question marks, adding another layer of intrigue and tension. That's why the Browns brass is wary of rushing young talents like Sanders and Gabriel into starting roles. They want to develop them properly, evaluate their practice performance, and determine if they're truly ready for the NFL's relentless pressure, where even the most talented college players can falter. But don't be surprised if early season struggles prompt a shakeup, giving these rookies a chance to prove themselves on the big stage. It's also important to remember that the offensive line, receiving corps, and running game will all play pivotal roles in determining which quarterback gets the nod. The Browns have invested heavily in crafting a balanced attack, and with weapons like Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper, they have the arsenal to support any quarterback. The real question is which quarterback can best capitalize on those assets. Looking at the big picture, this quarterback battle isn't just about who lines up for the first snap in week one. It's about the franchise's long-term stability and its identity moving forward. For decades, Browns fans have yearned for that elusive franchise quarterback, and every new season reignites that hope. The arrival of Shedeur Sanders, with his tantalizing potential and magnetic presence, has only heightened expectations. Attention, passionate Cleveland Browns fans, buckle up, because something monumental is brewing in the AFC North, and it has the potential to transform the entire dynamic. We're talking about a direct impact on the Browns' journey to a long-awaited Super Bowl run, a seismic shift that could leave a division rival floundering for years. You're getting the inside scoop right here. But before we dive in, if you're a true Cleveland Browns devotee, hit that subscribe button to fuel this passion even further. Show the world that you're part of this family. Let's really together and drive this community to 10,000 subscribers. Share this with your friends and fellow Browns diehards. Let's get into the details. All right, Browns faithful, strap yourselves in because there's a lot to dissect. The quarterback saga in Cleveland has been a turbulent ride in recent years, and right now it's as competitive as ever. You know, the Browns have always carried lofty expectations, whether it's clinching a playoff berth or making a deep postseason push. Fans are starved for consistency and, more importantly, a franchise quarterback. This season, however, the landscape is shifting, and the buzz around this team could send shockwaves throughout the AFC North and beyond. Let's break down the quarterbacks. First up, Joe Flacco, a seasoned veteran with a storied playoff resume and a rocket arm that can still catch defenses off guard. Flacco came to Cleveland to provide stability and leadership. Let's be real. His familiarity with Kevin Stefanski's offensive system positions him as the early favorite to secure the starting job. Flacco's experience under pressure and his proven leadership aren't just window dressing. He's a legitimate contender, especially given the team's urgency for immediate success. Then there's Kenny Pickett, a young signal caller determined to carve out his identity in the NFL. Pickett has shown flashes of potential, but he's still refining his craft. The Browns see him as a possible long-term starter, but for now, he's more of a question mark, a player who could step up and surprise everyone or still require more time to mature. Of course, we can't overlook the rookies Sanders Gabriel and the headline magnet. Shedeur Sanders is the name captivating the entire NFL community, and for good reason. Despite being a fifth-round pick, his pedigree and raw talent set him apart from his rookie peers. His last name alone, Sanders, carries immense weight thanks to his father's legendary NFL legacy. But Shedeur has earned his own spotlight, not just through his name, but through his electric college performance. He's a dynamic quarterback with a big arm, excellent mobility, and football IQ that believes his age. Can he transition from college star to NFL starter, especially so early? Here's where things get intriguing, according to Zach Jackson from The Athletic. A highly respected Browns insider, the odds of Sanders or Gabriel immediately seizing the starting role are slim. Jackson highlights that it's virtually unheard of for a rookie, especially a fifth-round pick, to secure the starting job right out of training camp, particularly in Cleveland. Why? Because the NFL reality is that teams prefer to bring rookies along slowly, especially at quarterback. The jump from college to the pros is massive game speed, complex defenses, and the mental demands are on an entirely different level. Jackson's analysis suggests the real battle for the starting quarterback position will come down to Flacco and Pickett, both under contract through 2025. This indicates Stefanski and his staff are likely leaning on experience to stabilize the ship after last season's dismal 3-14 record. One of the worst in franchise history, putting the staff and front office under immense pressure to find consistency fast. The Browns, one of the league's most storied franchises, are at a critical juncture. They've flirted with greatness many times, but haven't been able to sustain it. The quarterback position has been a revolving door for years, with different faces and styles all trying to find that elusive perfect fit. Now, with Deshaun Watson returning from injury, the team is hoping for a resurgence, but Watson's health and performance remain uncertain, adding another layer of intrigue and tension. That's why the Browns front office is cautious about rushing young quarterbacks like Sanders or Gabriel into the starting role. They want to develop these players, observe their performance in practice, and determine if they're truly ready to handle the relentless pressure of NFL defenses. A level of intensity that's a world away from college. Still, don't be shocked if early season struggles prompt the Browns to give these rookies a shot to prove themselves on the big stage. It's also important to remember that the offensive line, the receiving core, and the ground game will all influence who emerges as the Cleveland has invested heavily in building a balanced, dynamic offense, and with stars like Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper, they have the arsenal to support any quarterback. The real question is which quarterback can capitalize on those weapons most effectively. Stepping back, this quarterback competition isn't just about week one. It's about the future identity of the franchise. The Browns have been searching for their franchise quarterback for decades, and every new season brings renewed hope. Sanders' arrival with his tantalizing skill set and magnetic presence only amplifies those expectations, but let's not forget the coaching staff's crucial role. Kevin Stefanski has shown flashes of being an effective head coach, but last year's disappointments have ramped up the pressure to produce results fast. In Cleveland, winning is everything, and time is of the essence. If the team doesn't improve early, don't be surprised if they start giving their younger quarterbacks a real chance to showcase what they can do under the bright lights. This quarterback race has implications that extend far beyond the starter. It's about the team's identity, its long-term vision, and how the organization plans to build around a potential young star like Sanders or Gabriel. Browns fans are renowned for their loyalty and patience, but after a season like 2023, expectations are sky high. Everyone wants to see the Browns competing at the top of the AFC North, a division that's become one of the toughest in the league. The Ravens are formidable, the Bengals are ascending, and the Steelers always loom with their gritty defense and seasoned quarterback. That's why this quarterback competition isn't just a subplot. It's a defining storyline that could shape the Browns' season and possibly the next several years. The front office and coaching staff are walking a tightrope, balancing immediate results with the long-term development of their young talent.